Okay, welcome to another short video with Happy Histories with Michael. Now I've just been with Christian to St Thomas's Hospital, where we paid tribute to Mother Mary Seacole and Florence Nightingale, the lady with the lamp. And it really got me thinking about the impact that women have had in military service. And it got me thinking about my own mother. So I thought I would bring you here to this memorial here, which is just a little bit up from the cenotaph. And this is a monument, and it was opened by Queen Elizabeth in 2005 to pay tribute to the women who served during the Second World War. During the war, this was total war, and of course all of the men, they left a lot of trades, and women had to take in and take their places. So we had women bus conductors and even women construction workers. I think it was Waterloo Bridge. It was a bridge built solely by women, and it was built on time, and it's a self-cleaning bridge. So, you know, the women, they really, you know, filled a gap. The other thing, of course, the factories, actually during the First World War, you know, women were in the munitions factories, and they were working with chemicals, and a lot of them became very ill. Queen Elizabeth herself, she was actually in the Auxiliary Territorial Service as an army driver and mechanic, and you know, she served her country in that capacity. But there were other organizations as well. We had the Women's Land Army, and they worked on the farms producing food whilst we were being blockaded by the U-boats. And there's hardly anything that they didn't do. I'm kind of intrigued by the Fannies. This was the first aid nursing yeomanry. You know, different, you know, language changes with time, and these things can amuse us. But you know, they weren't just with regards to nursing. They were drivers, and then of course with the SOE, where we had women actually working as spies, essentially doing sterling work. The first-hand experience that I have in this capacity is my own mother. In 1939, my mother was 17 years of age, living in an Irish small town. And at that time, if you wanted to study nursing in Ireland, you had to pay big bucks. And the family didn't have big bucks. So she came over to England, where the nursing was free. And she went over to Plymouth, which was the second most bombed city in the country. And my mother never told me, but my mother's sisters told me that when she went there, she had no experience of nursing at all. And one of the first jobs she was given was having to take severed body parts down to the incinerator to be disposed of. You know, it doesn't bear thinking about. My mother never mentioned this to me, but her sisters did. And I'm very proud of my mother, because when she actually qualified as a nurse, on the bottom of her nursing qualification is a kind of a PS, and it thanks my mother for staying with intensive care patients during the bombing. Everybody would go down to the shelters, the bomb shelters, but they needed nurses to stay with the intensive care patients, and you know, she duly did this. And she did actually tell me that her hospital, the Prince of Wales Hospital in Plymouth, was on a kind of a hill, and she would look down and she would see the bombs dropping. The hospital itself actually received a direct hit, and you know, a large portion of it was actually destroyed. And a group of young trainee nurses like my mother were killed. The hospital kept on working, but after the war it had to be demolished, and now it's just ordinary housing estate. But the names of the roads there bear the names of some of those nurses who actually died. So we've got Emily's Close, Monica's Road, and so forth. And you know, we owe a great deal of thanks to these ladies who served during the Second World War. My own mother, she then went on to study midwifery in Glasgow, and then she had to return to Ireland to nurse her father, who was dying, and then she joined the Irish Army. And she was a civilian nurse during the war, but she joined the Irish Army, and she had a good career there. And in fact, when the Army was designing a uniform, my mother became their model, and she features in their magazine here. There's a little bit of history for us. Okay, so may God have mercy on all of their souls and reward them for the good that they did. Okay, thank you for that rather self-indulgent video about my mum.